This video is brought to you by GSA's Vendor Engagement and Training Division.
Welcome to the introductory demonstration of the FAS Sales Reporting Portal. This will become the first in a series of demonstrations that we plan on converting into YouTube videos and subsequently posting them with closed captioning for 508 compliance. During this series of presentations, we will attempt to expand on that content and try to clarify many of the questions industry has posed during previous training sessions. Before we sign into the system and get started with the order sales entry portion, I'd like to point out some of the features of this landing page and discuss what I believe is very helpful and important information. Let me start by focusing your attention to the center of the page. There, you will notice the name of the system is the FAS Sales Reporting Portal, not TDR. You may now be asking yourself, why is that? And the answer is because this will be the future one-stop shop for reporting GSA's industrial funding fees and contract access fees for MAS, GWACs, and IDIQ contracts. For those of you who are currently reporting in the 72A system, we anticipate the rollout to be complete somewhere around April 2019. This rollout is staggered, and those with both a monthly and quarterly contract will be the first group to experience these changes. That, along with all newly awarded contracts as of July 1st, 2018, regardless of the TDR quarterly reporting requirement, will be assigned to the FAS Sales Reporting Portal. Finally, those vendors with only quarterly reporting contracts will be moved over from the 72A system. Moving along, let's take a look at the red box that appears at the top of the screen. You will notice the URL has changed from tdr.gsa.gov to srp.fas.gsa.gov. This announcement was just recently posted. However, those of you who still enter tdr.gsa.gov will be redirected to the new URL until the end of this calendar year. Please take the time to bookmark this change as to avoid any future confusion. To be clear, this box is where we will be posting information about updates, changes, and announcements related to the system. That can include, but is not limited to, system maintenance and updates identifying a more current version of the Excel template and CSV specifications. For those of you who intend to upload your data via Excel, it is pertinent that you have the most current version in order to successfully upload your data. Otherwise, it will be kicked back and rejected by the system. In the upper right corner of the red box, you will notice an X. This X will hide the announcement, but you can reopen it by clicking on the bell. Now I'd like to bring your attention to the Help button on the right-hand side of the screen. There you will notice a drop-down arrow. If you click on it, you will see it includes the tutorial and online help links. The tutorial, in my opinion, is very helpful, and I encourage all of you to take the time to watch it. It takes a little over 30 minutes to complete and should provide you with a general understanding of how the system operates. Simply scroll over the tutorial, click on the word, and it will take you there. I believe the tutorial itself is self-explanatory, so rather than demo it, I will leave that up to you. Now let's take a look at the online help button. This feature gives you the ability to query our system by keyword, and the results will populate below. After clicking on it, you will see the search function at the top of the page. For the purposes of this demonstration, we will type in the word digital into the search field, then click the search glass to the right. As you can see, the results appear below. By clicking on them, you are able to view more detailed explanations. For those of you who are working outside of normal East Coast business hours, possibly nights and weekends, you may be able to find an answer to your question using either the tutorial or the online help feature. In instances where you're not able to identify the solution to your question, I strongly encourage you to email or call the Vendor Support Center, whose contact information is listed at the bottom of the landing page. Moving along, let's now take a more in-depth look at the bottom of the landing page. There on the left-hand side of the page, you will notice the SRP TDR Quick Start Guide. As you can see by the symbol, it is available for download. Below that, you'll find more information on how the FAS Sales Reporting Portal authenticates, which I plan on elaborating further when we discuss the digital certificate component to this system. For those of you interested in EDI and API, you will be able to download information about those respectively right here in the center of the screen. Beneath that, you will see the Excel template and the CSV standard. As I alluded to earlier, this is one of a number of places where you will be able to find the latest and greatest versions ready for download. Once again, and I cannot overemphasize this, the system will not accept previous versions from the moment a new version is released. For those of you reporting under the transactional data reporting rule, I encourage you to verify that you have the latest version monthly prior to entering your sales via the file upload method. Now on the right-hand side of the screen, you will see the SRP fact sheet and links to both the Vendor Support Center and the eOffer eMod system. For those of you who are unsure about the status of what system you're supposed to be reporting in, please click on the Vendor Support Center link. In the middle of this page, you will see a box that says Transactional Data Reporting. It is my understanding that the title may be updated in the future to better reflect the FAS Sales Reporting Portal, but for the time being, all users will be able to find out their status by following this path. Go ahead and click on Learn More. Now there are a number of boxes on the screen, and I would like you to select Check which system you should use to report sales. You will then type in your contract number in the search box, excluding hyphens, and proceed to click Search. The results will tell you which system you're expected to report in. If you have multiple contracts, follow the same instructions and repeat the procedure. Let's now revisit the digital certificate. The current system requirement is that you need a digital certificate in order to sign in and access the FAS Sales Reporting Portal. Every vendor should have at least one working digital certificate within their company, as this has been the standard for over the past 5 years. In instances where individuals responsible for reporting or paying or any combination of those do not have a digital certificate, they can sit at the desk of the person with the valid digital certificate and access the system from that individual's computer. As this relates to quarterly reporting companies, we are currently working on multi-factor authentication, and I anticipate that will be complete on or before April 2019. For those seeking additional information about how to obtain a digital certificate or how to add or update a POC, please click on the link here, which will bring you to the eOffer eMod system. From there, you will click on the digital certificate link to find out how to apply for one. Please keep in mind that your name must appear verbatim as it does in your GSA contract. It is important to note that from personal experience, the name that appears on the digital certificate is the name on the copy of the photo identification you submit. As part of the digital certificate application, you must submit a copy of an acceptable form of ID along with the necessary notarized documentation. Since I have a suffix on my license, I have a suffix on my digital certificate. That said, you will now see how the suffix is imperative to how my name appears in the system. Without this suffix, the system will not authenticate and reject my digital certificate. Here is a screenshot of the system. Let me first bring your attention to the top right side of the page. Please note how my name appears there, as this is coming from the digital certificate. Now, if you look at the lower left corner, you will see where I placed X's. Since they do not match verbatim, I had to have the developers add the correct profile, which is highlighted below. That suffix had prevented me from gaining access to the system. Please keep in mind there are 3 fields where names can be authenticated against for MAS vendors and 1 field for our GWAC holders. These fields are either the Authorized Negotiator field, which applies to both MAS and GWACs, the Contract Administrator or Admin POC, and what was formerly called the 72A rep, now identified as the IFF or Fee POC for MAS contract holders. If you have further questions related to this topic, please contact your contracting officer for clarification. For those individuals who have a valid or current digital certificate and wish to add another party who might have recently obtained a digital certificate for the express purposes of reporting sales, they must submit a modification in the eOffer system if they have not already been identified on the contract or their name differs from what is currently listed in GSA systems. This modification will register said individual so that the system recognizes and authenticates their digital certificate. For more instructions on how to go about doing this, click on the eOffer eMod Interactive Help Center link. This may take a moment to load, so we already have one ready to go. There you can conduct a keyword search on how to add an individual to your contract for the purposes of accessing the FAS Sales Reporting Portal. For this demonstration, I would like to update the Industrial Funding Fee POC. I'm going to enter it into the search box and click the glass symbol to the right. There in front of you are instructions on how to update the IFF POC. The same would be said if you typed in Authorized Negotiator or Contract Administrator. At this point, we're going to go ahead and sign out of the eOffer eMod system. As you can see, by clicking in the upper right corner, there is a direct link from eOffer to the FAS Sales Reporting Portal. Now that we're back on the landing page, let's go ahead and click Contractor Login, which will take us into what will be your personal homepage.